Picture this. A tiny island in the Pacific.
Yeah,
More famous for World War II than for space travel.
right.
That's where SpaceX started.
Kwajalein, an unlikely beginning for a company that would take on, well, the giants of the aerospace industry.
This deep dive we're taking a look at When the Heavens Went on Sale by Ashlee Vance.
A fascinating look at the rise of new space.
It's about technology and business, but also ambition. These are the stories of the people who dreamed of making space accessible to everyone.
And who turned that dream into a reality.
So back to SpaceX. Starting on Kwajalein, what was Elon Musk thinking?
Well, it was a gamble, but it was also a sign that they were willing to do things differently.
They weren't afraid to forge their own path,
Exactly.
even if that path led them to picking up rocket debris by hand after a failed launch.
It wasn't glamorous, that's for sure, but it was necessary. The early days, they were tough, money was tight, setbacks were common.
And there was so much skepticism from the people who had been in the industry for years.
They were the outsiders, trying to break into a world that was very much a closed club.
I read about that infamous $5 nut causing a rocket explosion.
It sounds almost funny until you realize how much was at stake.
It really underscores just how important every little detail is in rocket science.
One tiny mistake can have huge consequences. And for Musk, who was putting his own fortune on the line, those consequences were very real.
He was betting everything on a vision that many thought was impossible.
And in those early days, it's easy to see why people doubted him.
So, persistence, challenging the status quo, risk-taking. Are those the hallmarks of this new space movement?
Absolutely. SpaceX embodies all of those qualities. They persisted, they innovated, and they succeeded.
They broke the mold, showing that space wasn't just for governments and huge corporations.
They opened the door for a whole new generation of space entrepreneurs.
And around the same time, a group of entrepreneurs were working on a plan for constant Earth observation, using a network of, well,
Small, affordable satellites.
they called their company Planet Labs.
And they understood that data was the new frontier in space.
Can you elaborate?
Imagine being able to monitor the whole planet from above. You could track environmental changes, monitor crops, even keep an eye on illegal activities like mining.
That kind of data would be incredibly valuable.
Exactly. And Planet Labs, they were pioneers in making that data accessible.
The book describes Robbie Shingler, one of Planet's founders, at the Satish Dhawan Space Center in India, waiting for a satellite launch.
It must have been nerve-wracking, years of work, all riding on this one tiny satellite.
It's a powerful image of the hopes and the risks of this new era of space exploration.
Every launch is a gamble, a leap of faith.
And when those satellites made it to orbit, it wasn't just about the technology, it was about the data they were collecting.
They were making space-based technology usable for everyone: scientists, farmers, governments.
They created a new industry, using data from space to understand and manage our planet.
And this idea of making space accessible to everyone, it was something that Pete Worden, a leader at NASA Ames, had been championing for years.
Worden was a real innovator, wasn't he?
Oh, absolutely. He shook things up at NASA, pushing for low-cost exploration and reusable launch systems, long before SpaceX made it a reality.
He was ahead of his time, in so many ways.
His work on the PhoneSat project is a great example, turning smartphones into functioning satellites.
It sounds crazy, but it showed what was possible, with off-the-shelf technology and a bit of ingenuity.
Taking something ordinary and making it extraordinary. That was Worden's genius.
And that spirit of innovation, of breaking down barriers, really flourished at a place called the Rainbow Mansion.
Ah, the Rainbow Mansion. A Victorian house in Silicon Valley, filled with space enthusiasts, entrepreneurs, dreamers.
It sounds like something out of a movie.
It was a place where the future of space was being imagined and debated, fueled by coffee and late-night brainstorming sessions.
A mix of a college dorm and a think tank.
And it was there that some of the biggest names in new space, people like Will Marshall from Planet Labs, came together.
The Rainbow Mansion. It wasn't just about collaboration, though, was it?
No. It was a melting pot of personalities, strong ambitions, and sometimes clashing egos.
It even had its own resident skeptic.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Rita, the neighbor who wasn't exactly thrilled about having a bunch of space enthusiasts living next door.
But that friction, that clash of personalities, it was also part of what made the Rainbow Mansion so special.
It's often in the most unexpected places where progress happens, from the collision of different ideas, from the sparks that fly when passionate people come together. And speaking of sparks flying, Let's move on to another company that came out of the Rainbow Mansion, Rocket Lab,
Founded by Peter Beck, who had been obsessed with rockets since he was a kid.
inspired by his father, who's an amateur astronomer.
It's a classic story of following your passion, even when it seems a little out there.
Beck's journey from tinkering in his shed to running Rocket Lab is inspiring.
He faced skepticism, financial struggles, and the huge challenge of building a rocket company from nothing.
And he wasn't afraid to challenge the way things were done. In the book, he talks about his frustration with New Zealand's number 8 wire mentality.
That idea of making do with whatever you have.
He believed in aiming higher, exceeding expectations.
He saw that space was no longer just for the big players. It was a frontier ripe for innovation, for those willing to take the risk.
And that risk led to the creation of the Electron rocket, a smaller launch vehicle, perfect for the growing market of small satellites.
A market that the bigger companies were ignoring. Beck saw a need, and he filled it.
It's a great example of finding the right market fit.
You can have the best technology in the world, but if it doesn't solve a problem, if there's no demand for it, your success will be limited. Rocket Lab found their niche, and they thrived.
And while Rocket Lab was making a name for themselves in New Zealand, another company was taking a very different approach.
Astra, bringing the fast-paced, disruptive energy of Silicon Valley to the world of rocketry.
It's like they took the tech playbook and applied it to building rockets.
Rapid development, failing fast, and a relentless focus on speed and affordability. Chris Kemp, Astra's founder, he wanted to make space accessible for everyone. Startups, universities, small businesses.
Sounds pretty ambitious.
Oh, it was. He envisioned a rocket, almost like a tech product.
Okay.
Something you could mass produce, launch whenever you needed to, and at a price comparable to like a ride-sharing service.
So is that move fast and break things approach what caused those early crashes?
There's always a risk when you're trying to do something new. And yeah, those early Astra launches, they were definitely something.
Like Rocket 3.3 went sideways before it actually launched.
It was a bit of a disaster.
But Astra, they didn't let it stop them. They learned from their mistakes.
But resilience, that willingness to see failure as a learning experience, that's essential in this field. And Astra, they had it.
It's part of their Silicon Valley DNA.
Right, absolutely.
The book also talks about Astra's company culture.
It was a big part of their story. They had this culture of collaboration, open communication, and everyone was dedicated to being the best.
Sounds like a great place to work.
They attracted a diverse group of people, aerospace veterans, recent grads, all drawn to their mission and that fast-paced environment.
So innovation wasn't just a buzzword. It was part of everything they did.
Exactly.
And their approach to development, using off-the-shelf parts, relying heavily on software and automation.
They were trying to build a rocket the way you'd build a smartphone.
Streamlining the process.
Making it faster, more efficient. It wasn't always easy, but it let them iterate quickly, learn from what didn't work, and ultimately create a much more reliable rocket.
Speed, agility,
Yeah,
challenging the way things are usually done. These seem to be common themes in the new space movement.
they are.
But Astra didn't win everyone over.
Oh no, there's plenty of pushback, especially from the more traditional aerospace companies.
They saw Astra as a threat.
Some did. They thought Astra was a group of upstarts who didn't understand how complicated rocket science really is.
Like the old guard versus the new kids on the block.
There was skepticism, doubt. But Astra proved them wrong.
Results speak for themselves.
They showed that space wasn't just for the big guys. Anyone with a bold vision, the right skills, and the determination to overcome challenges could be part of it.
And that brings us to a company that took a different path into the space industry.
Firefly Aerospace, their story. It shows how important global collaboration is. That innovation can come from anywhere.
Their Ukrainian connection, it was about more than just finding good engineers.
They tapped into a wealth of aerospace knowledge, expertise that had been largely ignored since the end of the Soviet Union.
It's like a forgotten chapter in space history.
A reminder that the pursuit of knowledge, it goes beyond borders, beyond politics.
Firefly's founder, Tom Merkusic, he saw an opportunity to bring together American entrepreneurial spirit with the deep technical skills of Ukrainian engineers.
It was a gamble, but one with huge potential.
And Max Polyakov, the Ukrainian entrepreneur, he played a key role in all of this, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely. He was a larger-than-life character, passionate about space, and he really believed that Ukraine could become a leader in the space industry again.
He put his money where his mouth was, investing heavily in Firefly, building a presence in Ukraine. using his connections to open doors.
He was creating an ecosystem, a space hub, right in the heart of Ukraine.
It wasn't just about business, though, was it?
No, there was a sense of national pride, of wanting to show the world what Ukraine was capable of.
But Firefly's time in Ukraine, it wasn't easy, was it?
No, there were setbacks, regulatory hurdles, and the ongoing geopolitical tensions, always looming in the background.
It's a reminder that even the most ambitious ventures can be affected by things outside of their control.
And those forces, sadly, they had a significant impact on Firefly's operations in Ukraine. As the conflict with Russia escalated, the company had to make some tough choices.
Choices that led them to scale back their presence in the country.
It's a heartbreaking situation. It shows that progress, innovation, can be fragile, especially in a world where conflict can erupt so suddenly.
But despite the setbacks, Firefly's Ukrainian connection left a lasting impact.
They gained new perspectives, new talent, and a deeper understanding of how complex it is to operate in a global industry.
It shows the power of collaboration,
Yeah.
that the best ideas, the most innovative solutions, often come from bringing together different viewpoints and expertise.
It reminds us that pushing the boundaries of what's possible, it's something we do together, by working together, sharing our knowledge, and supporting each other, even when things get tough.
And that spirit of collaboration, of understanding how interconnected our world is, that's more important than ever as we explore space further.
As we work to unlock the secrets of the universe and secure our place among the stars.
It's a journey that requires us to embrace the unknown, to challenge our assumptions, and to work together to overcome the challenges ahead.
And it's a journey that will be filled with awe, with wonder, and with incredible discoveries.
Discoveries that will remind us of our shared humanity and our place in the vastness of the cosmos. It's amazing to think how much has changed in such a short time. Decades ago, private companies launching rockets, building space stations, it seemed impossible.
It was the realm of governments, huge corporations, with tons of money and resources.
But then the new space movement came along.
It's changed everything. Space is more accessible, innovation has exploded, and it's opened up so many possibilities.
One of the biggest changes is the cost. Getting to space is cheaper than ever.
Companies like SpaceX, their reusable Falcon 9 rockets, they've made launching payloads into orbit much more affordable.
It's like, I don't know, when flying went from something only the wealthy could do to something everyone could afford.
It's a great analogy, and it's had a huge impact on the whole space industry.
As costs go down, more companies can take risks, develop new tech.
It's a positive feedback loop. Those innovations further reduce costs, and that opens up even more possibilities.
It's disruptive innovation in action.
And it's happening so fast. New companies, new technologies, new uses for space-based tech, all the time.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into when the heavens went on sale, let's take a moment to think about what we've learned. What are the big lessons from these companies, these entrepreneurs, the people shaping the future of space exploration?
Wow. One thing that stands out is persistence. These companies face so many challenges, setbacks, moments where they must have doubted themselves, but they never gave up.
They kept going, kept innovating, driven by the belief that what they were doing was important.
It's a good reminder that success is rarely a straight line. There will be obstacles, detours, times when you wonder if it's all worth it.
But the companies that make it, they're the ones that can push through those tough times.
And a lot of that resilience comes from passion. These entrepreneurs weren't just in it for the money. They truly believed in their missions. They wanted to make a difference.
That passion, it's contagious, it inspires teams, attracts investors, and it helps them overcome huge obstacles.
It shows that innovation is about more than just technology. It's about people. People with the vision to see what's possible, the courage to take risks, and the determination to make it happen.
And speaking of vision, another key takeaway is that innovation often comes from unexpected places.
Like Firefly's Ukrainian connection, SpaceX starting on a tiny island, Rocket Lab coming out of New Zealand. They didn't follow the traditional path, they created their own. And in doing so, they challenged the whole industry to think differently.
It's a good reminder that we should be open to new ideas, new approaches, new perspectives. The next big thing in space could come from anywhere, a small startup, a university lab, even just a group of people working together online.
And that's what makes this industry so exciting. It's full of potential and full of people who are willing to push the limits.
And we can't forget about the impact new space is having right here on Earth. Satellite imagery is revolutionizing agriculture and environmental monitoring. Space-based internet is connecting remote communities. These technologies are already making a difference.
It shows that space exploration isn't just about scientific discovery, it's about improving life here on our planet, using what we learn in space to solve problems on Earth.
Connecting the dots, seeing the bigger picture, understanding that our exploration of space is deeply connected to our future here at home.
And as new space keeps evolving, we can expect to see even more innovations, more applications, more ways that space technology can benefit humanity.
So as we finish our deep dive, I want to leave you with a question. The cost of space travel is going down. Technology is rapidly advancing. What does this mean for the future of space exploration? How will it affect our lives?
What new industries will emerge? What unexpected applications will we discover? What amazing things are waiting for us out there in the universe?
It's a question that sparks the imagination. It makes you wonder what's possible. The future of space exploration is still being written, and we all have a role to play in shaping it.
So keep looking up, keep asking questions, and keep dreaming big. The future of space is in our hands.
And that concludes our deep dive into When the Heavens Went on Sale. We hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, keep exploring.